So what would be other criterias that we can use to 10x our life or our business or whatever we do? And that's one question. But what I would like also to ask is, are these criterias different based on the areas that they are focused on? So is the 10x, can they be applied both to, let's say, both to, you know, private life as well as to business as well as to, relationships, or how is that working?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of the things for me that is really significant. And when I was doing my NLP, and I was really inspired by Leslie Cameron Bandler
Hmm.
in the early days, who developed the division of training and research, and kind of, if you will, organize the practitioner certification programs.
Yeah.
Um, and one of the things that we were doing in those early days was, so you got a practitioner, and then they say, okay, well, what's the next level? So the next level is a master practitioner. I took
Hmm.
that literally and said, I don't want to be given that certificate until I personally can can acknowledge that I'm a master
Yeah.
at least at the basic level. I mean, because you never are fully grown. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still mastering NLP even today. It's just more and more of that. But there's a basic identity level at which you can step into and say, I'm master.
Hmm.
And so I think that that has been a really significant um, aspect for, if I say, for my 10X journey, because I felt like, we co-founded or co-developed the UK Training Center for NLP, which, as you said, was the first NLP
Hmm.
training institute in Europe. And I led that with my colleagues for 6 or 7 years. But I got to the point where I said, you know what? In order to truly be a master, I need to do it in other contexts. Because when
Hmm.
you're working in a training context, you're inviting people to learn the language, learn the practices, learn the skills. And what I thought is, to be able to use NLP as a master is use it in a context where people don't understand the language, they don't understand the concepts, they've got totally different ways of viewing the world, and being flexible enough to do that. And so that's been my kind of passion, if you will, is
Yeah.
to work in business, to work in education, work in government, work in civil society, work in with nonprofits, uh,
Yeah.
and to bring this all to bear
Hmm.
on those contexts. It's also, I would say, I have a very significant client relationship right now, which I think is kind of characteristic. His transformation has been to integrate the personal and the professional. As many people do, he separated those for many years, and he saw that that was not healthy for him. Uh,
Yeah.
his wake up call was, he's been married twice. In his first marriage, his wife just one day said, "Okay, that's it, I'm finished." And he went, "What?"
Hmm.
He didn't know. It's because he had so focused on his professional life that he had ignored the signals, in his personal life. And so the early part of our work together was to show him how the patterns of thinking and acting that he regularly engaged in, could either be positive, or they could be negative.
Yeah.
And part of his success in his business life actually produced a negative consequence in his personal life. And so
Hmm.
the whole integration was, how do you find patterns that cross context? And I think that, for example, that is an aspect of the 10X mindset, is to integrate and be whole. And
Yeah.
it gives us that ability to do that.
Wonderful. All right. Awesome.